I'm gonna grab another chair.
Oh, okay. Yo, before we even get into this, let's go ahead and pay some bills. Vinyl Supply Unlimited. Y'all make sure y'all tap into vinylsupplyunlimited.com. Use Squad Creatives 10 to get 10% off of your entire purchase. Once again, that's vinylsupplyunlimited.com.
I didn't even know you went live, bro. Next time, give me a heads up. I was not ready for that. But
I said going live.
Man, yeah, I missed that whole thing. But what's going on, y'all, man? Squad Creators Podcast, episode number 48 with Sean of S.E Shirts and Hoodies, man. Thank you, man, for coming out with us. If you don't mind, would you like just tell the people who you are and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Sean with S.E Shirts and Hoodies. I'm the owner. Basically wear every hat in this company. So I'm the marketing team. I'm the owner. I'm the accountant. I'm the customer service, HR. I do everything around here. So yeah, this is pretty much, resolve a whole lot of hard work. So it is, but it's where it's at today because the grind. So
man, I was looking at your IG, man. How many embroidery machines do you own? Or answer that please, and just tell the people what all you do out of your shop.
So out of our shop, we do pretty much everything from screen printing to embroidery, direct to garment, cut and sew, whatever, anything you need. Water bottles, we'll get you water bottles, pens, it don't stop, business cards, stickers, it's anything to do with printing, I can get you. And if I can't get it in-house, then I'm gonna get it for you. So
yeah, man. So how many embroidery machines are you running? It looked like about 70 to me.
It feels like that sometimes too. So we have an 8-head and we have a single head.
Oh, that's what I saw, the 8-head. Yeah, that's dope.
So the 8 heads. Go ahead.
How long you been doing this for?
2 years. It's going on a little over 2 years now.
2 years. Wow. How'd you get started?
So before, even while I ran this company, what a lot of people don't know is I worked on the oil rigs. So the main reason that I started this whole company was just to get myself some hoodies, some company hoodies, for the company I worked for. Mm-hmm. And they're being cheap, didn't want to give me no hoodies, and I seen a video on YouTube about start your own home business for like $500. So I was like, I could sell a few hoodies and get my money back and then just keep making myself hoodies. So that's pretty much how it started.
So what equipment did you start out with?
So I started out with the Heat Press Nation, some cutter, the thing didn't even cut. That's how cheap it was when it came. Like I ran jobs off of it, but like I had it at its highest setting, grams, or I think it went by grams on how the pressure of the blade, and man, it didn't even work. So I got that from Heat Press Nation, and then I had like a $500 signature series Heat Press Nation heat press, and that's pretty much what my initial investment was, and that's where we are today. That's the rest was grind. That's all I put into this.
Off to the races, huh?
Yeah.
So and you started out at home, I assume?
Yeah. I was like in the island in the kitchen. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. The island of the kitchen, I put the vinyl cutter up there, and I was heat pressing in like a little washroom to get these orders done. So, like when I had to go to work, I'd tuck the cords under and try to hide it as good, you know what I mean? Do whatever I had to do. And off the first month, I think I had like $3,000 or $4,000. Wasn't too much, but I was up. Yeah. But what I didn't know is I was about to be down. Like the first orders that I made, I didn't even know what pressure was or heat or anything like that. I was just trying to heat press something with no experience, and everything washed out. Like everything that I did in that first month. But by the time I already made moves, I was like, screw it. Like I seen a DTG, like I weeded 200 garments, maybe 300 pushing it. That's kind of like exaggerating a little bit. But after I weeded 300 garments, I said, man, this ain't for me. I can't do it. You know what I mean? And then the blade, you know, what I didn't realize is like, there has to be an easy way to do this, right? Cause like, there's always, people are making money out this. There has to be an easy way. Like I was cutting so hard and the vinyl cutter wasn't cutting. So like, it's easy to weed when you know what you're doing and you have a little bit of experience. But at the time, like nothing was weeding. Like I was still cutting with the razor blade on the table, trying to cut out shapes, and it was just a bad experience. So that's why I was like, I don't know how these people are making money off this. This ain't for me though. So I went and financed my first DTG. And then after that, it was just off to the races. Like you said, it was all grind after that.
So you financed your first DTG. Just curious, what machine did you get initially?
So the first DTG I had was the Omni 330TX Plus.
Oh yeah.
So financed that. They were like, it's gonna be like $480, $500 a month. And at the time, like I didn't have no experience. I didn't know what PNG was. I didn't know what a JPEG was, an AI file. I didn't know what Photoshop was. Like I had when I say no experience, like
Zero.
no experience. Like I still feel like I'm learning every day, and where we're at now. But like I had zero experience. I didn't even know anybody I could call to even like try to help me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I used to watch Stan Banks videos, like 3-color HTV. Like, damn, how am I gonna make this a vector file? Like I was trying to go on the free online vector file generators. Like it was all bad from the gate. But I just kept reinvesting the money. And that's basically how I got to where I'm at.
So you said you made $4,000 in the first month.
Yeah.
All the shirts you made, everything washed out.
Washed out.
So what was the motivation to keep going? Because that's a big hit for one financially, and I know that had to mess with your head initially.
Because I was already like, as men, we got pride issues. Every man has pride issues. So I couldn't, even though I won, but I lost. Like, luckily the client I did it for was my boss, so he couldn't really fire me. But ever since then, now anytime he puts in orders, it's basically like, hey, it's, I don't know how we could say it on here, but it's basically like, is my shit gonna fall apart? Is the screen gonna come off? Is the screen print gonna wash off? Like every time he gives me, he kind of busts my balls a little bit when he comes for orders. But he didn't really like. I was like, I'm gonna replace everything. Like no worries, I'll figure it out. And at the time, I was going through Jiffy shirts. Like I thought that was wholesale, which wasn't. You know what I mean? And they were getting me for a little while. So, man, it was rough starting out. But a whole lot of pride and just I didn't want to lose. Like I was like, screw it, I'm not doing vinyl anymore. I'm doing DTG anyway. Like the quality's gonna be better. No more 1-color, 2-color. And I just started. But even when I first got my DTGs, these companies sell us on this like, it's like Instagram versus real life. They sell us on this dream. It's so easy. You're gonna make so much money. The hustle part is real. Like all you have to do is sell 10 or 15 shirts a month, and you'll make enough money to cover the equipment. But the reality of the situation is, like the first month I replaced print head, motherboard. I had like 100 and some hoodies I had to print. All like 50 of them messed up because the printer was just printing one image and then just going to a whole other area on the platen and printing another image that had nothing to do with what I was doing. So like looking at it from the outside, it probably looks like, damn, he got there quick, but they didn't see the heartaches or the grind that I went in to get into where it's at today.
So how did you said in the first month, the motherboard went out on you said?
Motherboard, print head.
Wow, bro, that's like on some, that machine had to be 15, 20 grand.
And then like everything just fell off of these hoodies. So I'm thinking, how am I going to make this right? And then from there, the motherboard doesn't work. The print head doesn't work. They're telling me that they never ran into this problem. So I'm like, damn, of course it's gonna happen to me. First, it's happened with all my equipment. Every single piece of equipment, like some's cursed. First vinyl cutter didn't work.
Yeah.
First DTG out the gate was broke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a few problems with my embroidery machine, but not much. My dryer right now still don't work. Like this white dryer you see right here, like they had a tech fly out. The tech tried to basically tell me is barometric pressure. Basically tell me because the sky was blue that the dryer don't work. Like trying to convince me that the elevation of Colorado is affecting a dryer. Like,
Yeah.
Come on.
you know, like even, you know, my brand new auto, like I've had stuff fall, like literally come in the next day, there's a bolt on the floor, how to replace a print. Like I go through this every single time with every single piece of equipment. I don't know why it happens, but every piece has come like that. So
that's crazy, man. But I mean, you know, commend you just for keep grinding, bro. All them setbacks, like it's not. This is the stuff that people need to hear because it's not easy, you know. And you want to get into this game, and stuff is gonna happen, you know.
you're gonna take some losses.
Period.
I had look at a couple months ago, we had a client that was bringing like 20-25 grand a month, right? Good client, steady, consistent. They cared about quality. I cared about quality. It seemed like we were just gonna make a lot of money together. We did some shirts for Juneteenth, ran them through the dryer because I was having dryer problems, so that's what I put it to. But later on, like we DTG'd a bunch of shirts. So after I DTG'd the shirts, it was for Juneteenth. They went to Juneteenth, it started raining, and all the blue on every single shirt just ran off the shirt and turned to tie-dye. And that was the only color. It wasn't the sign, it wasn't the magenta, it wasn't the black, it wasn't the yellow. It was just the cyan. So it wasn't the black, the magenta, or the yellow. So all these shirts came back, and then I had to end up replacing those like 3 times.
Wow.
Like, it was just lost out. Like it was a month where we lost like 12 grand. Just
wow. And then like, how did you? Did you ever figure out what it was?
Yeah, it was the DTG. It was the ink.
Damn.
Ink.
But you can't tell that to a client. Like you can only say that so much. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you got to take responsibility, whatever comes out of your shop or your house or however you work. Like you got, regardless, if a company sells you vinyl that don't stick, like you can't really put that on the company to your client. You have to like get in front of the problems and fix them immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Period. So I got a question from you from Connie Hard. She said, I missed it. Where do you get your shirts and hoodies from now?
So now I go, TSC, Samar, Alpha Broader, if you could even find them. Alpha Broader. I mess with a lot of AS Color. To me, AS Color is the best garment out there that you can buy. So you talk about quality. Yeah, that's pretty much like what I stick to. I'd rather take the hit on the beginning. But anyway, so Alpha Broader, TSC, Sanmar, S&S. No more Jiffy shirts, no more wholesale blanks, none of them companies that claim to be wholesale companies.
Yeah. You said AS Color is the best shirt.
AS Color by far, hands down.
Stan Banks was just saying that a couple days ago on one of his lives I was watching. Man.
Been telling Stan Banks about AS Color since I met him.
Yeah.
He's going to believe one day.
Yeah, he said it. He was just like 2-3 days
That's
ago.
all. Like even like people I want to impress, like that's what I'll print on is AS Color, and I'll just screen print their tag or their logo on the inside so that they don't know it's AS Color. But
yeah,
you can never lose with AS Color ever, never. You can never lose. Messing with cheap shirts and gilding and stuff like that, Toltecs and Elo, and trying to be cheap, you're gonna lose. I'd rather just pay the initial money out the gate and not have any problems.
So what's the cost of one of those? Oh, sorry.
So for the 50-51, which is kind of comparable, a little bit better. I wouldn't say a little bit better, but I would say a little bit thicker than the Bala Canvas 3001. Those are like $3.
Oh, that's not bad.
The midweight, which are the ones that I like, it's almost like as thick as, a little bit thinner than an all style, but not as cheap as all style. Like it's a little bit thicker, but those are $4. And then if you get into the heavyweight ones, like those I don't even mess with those. They're a little bit too thick for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check it out. Those prices aren't bad at all.
And they're always in stock. You ain't in these stock shortages. You ain't trying to, get 3 sweaters from this warehouse, 100 from here, 3 from here, 2 from here, 7 are on back order, 3
Right.
from Joann's and Michael's. Like, you ain't doing that with them. So
What's the biggest size they offer? Do you know?
5X. And then also here's the best part, right? Like AS Color, it's kind of a little bit expensive from small to, or from extra small to extra large. But once you start getting to 2X, 3X, it's the same price.
Oh, yeah?
4X and 5X, it's like 50 cents or $1 more. Like, it's not even, but that's the beauty of it, because on your 5X, typically they're around like 12, 13 bucks.
Yeah.
So you just up the price to 12, 13 bucks.
Yeah.
And everybody, if you wear a 5X, it's not as cheap as a small. So it's going to go up.
Not at all. I know I've printed on a couple 5.9s and almost, I think, 11X.
So I printed on a 7X. That thing was huge.
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing, man, I did a 6X on a 15 by 15 heat press. That was hell.
Oh, that was the chess logo.
Yeah, basically. Man, y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man, share it out,
please.
Help us grow, you know what I mean? So, man, with that, I see you got your people is working back there. What they doing back there behind you right now?
So we've been kind of running. I almost burned down the building the other day, trying to be in a hurry, trying to do some electrical myself. But we got the electrical going up finally, like electrical, because we've been kind of running with just like wires hanging down, like just doing what I got to do to work until we can get it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you've been progressing. That's all that's that time and effort, that leaving, like you said, probably 12-hour, 14-hour shifts. What did you do before this? You did mention oil.
So I worked on an oil rig. Okay. So I was like, we ran casing. So I was basically the glorified plumber. So after they drill the hole, we would run all the pipe. That's all we did, run pipe.
And so, like, that's crazy. Like, you came from that to making T-shirts, just out of necessity. Like I tell people, this was never my dream. Like, some people are like passionate about this industry, and like I commend them, because there's times where I despise it. Like, you get tired, you get burnt out. You know what I mean? You could only run 6-7 day weeks, 12, 15-hour days so long before it starts just, I don't even want to be a part of it. Like, you know what I mean? You're gonna go through those ups and downs. Like, you got to be careful what you wish for, because when you wish for certain, everybody wishes for 1,000-piece order until they get the 1,000-piece order. Then 300 in, they hate it. You know what I mean? So you gotta just be careful what you wish for when it comes to this, because you're gonna get to a spot where it's you like early on. I think one of the most important things is like you have to come up with a game plan on like what's your not stopping point, but like what's your point that you want to get to where you're just gonna coast after that. Because if you just keep growing, like at some point you have to stop the growth in order to start, getting your money back. Period.
How many different so what's gonna be the next printing that you do offer? I know you got the Racoma, you got the silk screen, sublimation.
We don't do sublimation. That's the only one that's left. So I mean, but I feel like that's the cheapest one to get into. I don't have that big of a client base for sublimation, so I've never, like, I use silky socks and make plenty of money off silky socks. Like, I don't just like when I buy new equipment or I'm upgrading equipment, I always use the piece of equipment that I'm using until it's kind of like not burnt out, but like, for example, like my single head, right? It was bogged down. Like when I say bogged down, it was running like 15-hour days every day, Sunday through Sunday. Like I just couldn't catch up. I couldn't catch up regardless who was on it, because some operators are faster than others. It was just bogged down. Like it was to a point I was outsourcing stuff, and I hate outsourcing anything.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided to get the A-head. Same thing with the auto. Like I needed a screen print because like somebody here locally forced my hand to screen print. I didn't want to screen print. That was never my desire to have plastisol containers everywhere and dryers. Like that was never that. I never thought I would go in that direction.
Right.
Because I was getting screen printed shirts here locally for like $1 a piece. So even if you're selling them for as many colors as you wanted, $1 a piece per garment. So I didn't know what I was charging. So I was charging $5 a shirt, and I was winning because I wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to move into a shop, and he was taking like 4 or 5 people with him, and like I try to foresee 3-4 moves ahead. You know what I mean? So if somebody walks in, whose client is it?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When somebody has to make a decision about like this electrical needs to go here, like if that's not my electrical, how am I paying for that?
Right.
I can foresee, there's too many bosses. Like there's sometimes that'll work, but with me that's not gonna work because I kind of like I like my shop to be super clean, super put together. Right now everything's everywhere for building, but I like it a certain way, and then when other people aren't like that, we're just gonna crash. So it's not worth it to me to even go down that road. So that's I got the auto.
So explain how that auto works.
So basically, the auto, it's basically screen printing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But instead of somebody manually pushing a squeegee back and forth, all I'm doing is hitting start and it's running. All I gotta do is burn the screens, line it up, put the ink in. It's gonna squeegee all day long.
Yeah, man.
All day long. 1,100 shirts an hour.
1,100 an hour.
Yeah, the most we got was about, because it'll tell you exactly how many shirts you're doing an hour. The most we ever got it to was like 1,181.
Sheesh.
That's crazy. And so all you do is you just have somebody manually putting a shirt on and it does.
Yeah, that's it. The same person that puts the shirt on takes it off.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it sounds simple, right? Like that's the mirage of the thing, but things go wrong. You can't get stuff lined up.
Yeah.
Screens tear, shirts get messed up, they start sticking, you're running hot, you're over flashing. Like there's a lot that goes into it, but the gist of it, the fun part is, you should just be able to hit start and out comes the dryer, the money. You know what I mean? Printing money, basically.
Fidel Elvira said, SE shirts and hoodies, you definitely know what you want. That's what I have been praying for. Keep it up, man. Do what you love. He also runs a screen printing shop, so you're motivating him right now, I'm sure.
Man, I give it to screen printers because this is different. Everything. I'm self-taught on everything. There was never anybody I could really call for screen printing or direct to garment or embroidery. Like I just learned it by myself. There was nobody I could call, you know what I mean, to figure. I remember one time Stan was here. There was like 6 of us trying to line up a 4-color job. We couldn't get it. Like I ran out of time. I just had to call another screen print shop. Like I need these done tomorrow, and they saved me. Like some 65-year-old ladies.
Really?
650 shirts in like an hour and a half, and I was standing there for like 4 or 5 days trying to mess with it.
Damn, that's crazy.
It is.
600. 650.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to share this out. We need some more people up in here. So what's the biggest run of shirts you've done in your shop over there?
Biggest single-handed run that we've done in this shop, only a couple hundred. We only been here for like a week. At the other shop, I guess the biggest order that I've ever had was probably like 10,000 pieces.
10,000 pieces. And so with something that big, how would you charge that?
At that time, I just outsourced it. So I was just trying to make $1 a shirt. Like to me, 10 grand without touching nothing was a good, like I was in talks to do 100,000 piece order, but we spent days, like 2 days trying to figure that out because, you start getting these huge orders, like there's really you would think, from the person that's doing it, in their house or in their garage, you know, $20 for a shirt, like they're buying 100,000 pieces, they ain't paying $20 a shirt.
Right.
Like they're crying about paying $2 a shirt, $1.87 a shirt. Like at that point, you're just trying to make a penny, 2 pennies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every penny you make off 100,000 shirts is basically 10 grand. So I was just trying to get like 5 cents a shirt, like anything. But the logistics of orders that big is completely different than anything else, because, you know, you need everything to be in one trailer. Then you need to have them be able to drop the trailer. So as one side of the trailer is coming out, it's coming through the shop, getting printed, and it's going right back in the trailer. Then you need to get that trailer to wherever it needs to go, because 100,000 shirts is like 59, 60 pallets.
Yeah.
So 60 pallets of shirts is a lot of, like, there's different levels to it. And it's like, sometimes it's not even worth the money to go after those orders, because like for every penny, like it's not even, like the money's probably not even worth it. I'd rather just print 500 shirts, make $5 grand and call it good.
Yeah.
So do you cater to a lot of schools and companies then? So
yeah, like I'll do a lot of clothing lines. Like for a long time. Well, I say a long time, but for a good 6 months, clothing lines were like bread and butter to me. But you know, I have like oil field clients. From clients I used to, you know, just people I met other companies in the oil field. I have quite a few oil field clients. They stay consistent because the what word am I looking for? Like not the society, but like the vibe out there is basically like these people get shirts, hats, beanies, coats, and they just hand them out.
Mm-hmm.
Like the culture out there is just to give away as much gear as you can. So like I have one client that he spends probably about 50, 60 grand easy a year.
Wow.
And like he's super cheap, but now he's not caring about the prices because the pandemic stuff, the shortages. But before, he was like one of my cheaper clients because he was buying so much.
Mm-hmm.
But so it just, I don't know, like we've done clothing lines, we've done cut and sew for pro boxers, we've done oil rig stuff, a lot of schools, we do a lot of schools, but you know, we do a lot of give back to these schools too, you know, so it's like we don't hit them upside their head, but 10% of everything that we make, we just give back. So we're always donating to like track teams and outfits that kids need, backpacks, whatever, you know.
Speaking of, I saw that you guys did a fundraiser to get a local boxing gym over there, some treadmills.
Yeah, in Vegas.
That was dope.
One day, yeah. That was pretty good I mean, I didn't think it was gonna work or not, but I was like, I'm gonna get them for him regardless, but let me just start calling companies. I just started calling companies. In like first 10 minutes, I already had like 2 racks, 2 grand. I was like, sweet. One of the bigger companies, I'm not going to say who it was, but it was funny because one of these bigger companies was like, well, you need to set up a GoFundMe. You can't be doing stuff like this and this, like giving me a whole lecture on why I was doing it, right? And he was like, because we need to be able to write this off, and we don't know if we could trust you. And I was like, damn, I'm sorry that people can't trust you. You know what I mean? But that's not me.
Yeah.
And nobody asked me for no receipts or like, you know what I mean? We weren't doing nothing crazy because that'll come back. But you know, you build these relationships over time with companies, and when you need stuff like that, they'll come through.
So, like with that, man, how do you decide on who you'll help fundraise, or you know what I mean? How do you pick your charities?
It's just what I feel in my gut.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I ain't a millionaire. I can't help everybody. I wish I could, but I can't. So I gotta, like how you said, I gotta pick and choose. So anytime, like, an opportunity pops up where I feel like, not where we could benefit, but where we could help, like, because I feel like some people do it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I would have never put it on Instagram or anything like that if I didn't have so many people from Instagram put in on it, if that makes sense. Like, usually it's me and my old boss and like a couple oil field clients that we do this with. Like, we always come through for schools every year. It's usually a few companies, and then we just go do it. We don't really ask for recognition, but I kind of figured like something like that, people want to see that their money went to something. So that's why I did it like that, just to kind of switch it up and, you know, shout them out a little bit.
Yeah, that was dope though, man. I saw that. I'm gonna run through a couple of these comments over here, man. T. Johnson said, "Having to learn yourself can be hard and frustrating, but it makes you great at troubleshooting issues." Man, that's definitely true, man.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, right? Like right now, I have like 6 people that work here, so nobody has any experience. Nobody could tell you what a heat, like they could tell you now what a heat press is, what sublimation is. They could tell you now, but at the time, nobody knew nothing. So I'm building this team around me. Can you pull back up her comment?
Yeah.
See, and what I tell my guys all the time is, it doesn't like anybody could push start.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Anybody could just push start on the embroidery machine. And it's gonna do what it needs to do. But what are you gonna do when you push start and it doesn't start? It's not it's not important to know like what quality looks like. It's not important to know how to print. It's important to know what to do when things go south, because you're gonna be a mechanic most of the time. Like I feel like I'm always fixing something around here.
And what brand of are your embroidery machines?
Ricoma.
Let me read a couple more of these. T-shirt man Low said, "Damn, that's a lot of shirts." That I think he was talking about that 100K. That definitely is, bro. Imagine doing that with a heat press.
I wasn't doing nothing. I was like in a perfect world, I was like, all right, cool. So if I get the client for like $2 a shirt, like my out the door cost was gonna be like $185 or something like that if I outsourced it. So I was like, so we'll take 20,000 shirts and we'll run like 20 or 25,000 shirts in house. So we get that money too. So we save that 50 cents that I was paying for the prints. We keep that 50 cents in the house times 20,000 is, a little bit of change. Plus I take my 15 cents off the top. That's another 15,000. Like in my head, I was calculating it fast. Like, damn, I could make a quick 100K, like 50K off this. But after, 2-3 days of negotiating, and then you're trying to figure out logistics, it's like, man, I should just stay printing these clothing lines.
Yeah, right.
Waste of time, because then they got to get it approved. Like those orders are they're hard to get. It's not even worth chasing those. You'll be chasing a unicorn forever.
Yeah, Fidel said, "I love this guy already." He is just being honest, man. He definitely is, man. He's showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly, man. Like,
sure.
So speaking of that, I'm gonna come off of that good, bad, and ugly, man. What's like one of the worst things you've endured being a shop owner? Maybe whether it be with a customer or equipment or whatever, any of them.
Nah, because even if you mess up the client's order, you could always fix that. Like they might be hurt, but like anytime I even sense something's wrong, like I'll get on the phone. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is like we have so much projects going that, let's say my dryer was messing up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if one person called me like, bro, my shit didn't cure, like these shirts washed out, I'll find out every order we printed along with that one, and I'll start reaching out. Mm-hmm. I'll get on the phone. I'll get ahead of the problem, because I don't want them, when you get ahead of the problem, for one, they ain't even mad. Like they're like, oh, no, well, I'll check them, but the majority of the time, they might be good. Sometimes you're going to run 2-3 bad ones. You know what I mean? And it's just not everything's going to go perfect all the time. So by you getting in front of it, it seems like you'll retain that customer, because they know if anything goes wrong in the future, you're going to handle it. You're going to fix it. And I think that's some of the biggest problems with some of these companies is, they put out this product and they don't stand behind it. And then when it goes wrong, well, they give you this runaround. So.
Period. Fidel said, let us know the customer why they have to pay what they pay for screen printing services, different charges, and let everyone know what we charge is not enough for what we do.
Nah, for sure, man. Before I started screen printing, I don't even consider myself a screen printer, to be honest, because I feel like there's levels to it. But like the stuff that goes into screen printing is so much harder than people think. From the emulsion to coding screens to, I didn't even know how to degrease this screen. Like man, there are people that know how to screen print and know what they're doing. My hat's off to them, because that's a whole different that's a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Like DTG is kind of the cheat code, you know, it's like Drake. Like you just put a shirt after you pre-treat it, like, and you're golden. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit more to it. Certain settings work better than others, but screen print is definitely harder than I think like my prices, everybody says my prices are kind of high, but I mean, I don't know how some of these screen printers are printed. Like that guy that used to screen print for me for $1, I don't even know, like,
how did he survive?
He was breaking, like, there were orders that would come back messed up. Like, he printed one time, he printed something on just the front of the shirt, nothing on the back. And then the image that went on the back was on the front. He was like, I didn't even look at the file or the mock-ups or nothing. I just ran them, assuming. And he replaced them. And he would replace orders like that all the time. So I'm like, I don't know how this dude was making money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Listen, make your prices as high as you can. If they ain't complaining about them, they ain't high enough.
Yeah.
That's a golden gem right there.
Because I used to be that, like, when I first started, I used to try to undercut everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, you start taking losses and you start replacing stuff, and that ain't gonna work for too long. Like, if you're in your house, that it's gonna work because you have to pay your house payment. You have to pay rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where I'm at now, like I can't afford that no more.
So the overhead. Let's just get into the overhead real quick.
Yeah.
The overhead got to be something crazy.
Well, 6 employees, the rent, you know, a couple bills for a couple machines, mistakes.
Yeah.
I think some fixed up. I think fixed. We're like at 17 right now, 17,000 a month fixed.
Yeah.
That's not including commissions. That's not including payroll. That's not including. That's really just to run, just to keep the lights on.
So, was there a model that you was following? I know you said you did this all by yourself. Was there anybody else's model that you followed to get as far into it as you've gotten?
No, it's crazy because that's my cousin. The electrician is my cousin. And even when we were driving to Home Depot before this started, I was just thinking back. I don't know. I was just like, I never thought it'd be where it's at today, for sure. Because this was never my dream. Like, I didn't have a passion for this. Some people have a passion for this. To me, it was just like making free hoodies and then, you know, getting in with some company guys so I could get a better position, like cheaper to buy your friends and earn them sometimes. You know what I mean? So, like, I never thought it was going to be to where it's at today. That's honest to God truth. Like,
where are you located at?
In Denver.
Denver. I knew that.
Yeah, medication and snow. Huh?
Yeah. We do a lot of dispensaries too.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, we do.
Man, that's you do stoner teas and all that too?
Nah, we do. Well, right now, like, I'm trying to get away from the 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s.
Yeah.
It's like I've been kind of giving those away to like people that I know can print well, that I think this client could work with this person because he likes doing clothing lines. Like, I've been kind of not really like kicking them out, but just kind of like it's too hard for me at this level. Everything's in hundreds and 300 and 500, and it's just too arduous to set up stuff for like 5 pieces, 10 pieces. I mean, I'll take it.
What is the minimum?
You know, I'll take everything, but I'm starting to get away from that because I like.
So if somebody came with, they want 5 or 10 shirts,
I'll do them.
But how much what would the cost be? I mean, it seemed just to set up would be like.
So it depends. We screen print it, we DTG, sublimation, embroidery, cut and sew. It depends what you want. You know what I mean? If I wanted 5 or 10 screen printed shirts, what would the cost be on that? Single color?
2 color, we'll say.
So 2 color.
Hypothetically.
It'll probably be like at $13, $14.
Oh, that's not bad though.
That's not like bad, yeah.
Nah. I was expecting like, you know, $20, $30 like setup and all that.
I mean, that setup fee, like, I don't even charge people that. That's a part of the job. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. It's like going to McDonald's and then they charge you like a property improvement or a fryer improvement fee or something, like a setup fee for your hamburger. Like, that's crazy. You should be doing that anyway. Part of your job.
Period.
What systems do you implement into your business?
Which ones?
What systems are you implementing into your business? Like,
so like right now, I'm trying to transition out of, because before I did everything, right? Like, I talked to the client, I ordered the shirts, I got the shirts, I counted the shirts, I printed the shirts, I folded the shirts, I boxed the shirts, I shipped the shirts, I made sure the invoice was paid, like, did everything. So right now I can't afford, like, there's not enough hours in the day to do all that no more. So right now I'm trying to transition from working in the business to working on the business. So like, it's a weird growth phase right now. And I would say, like, right now is the hardest learning curve that I've had, because like I said, I ain't got nobody I could call. I got to figure this out. I'll get it figured out. Like, I'm hard-headed like that. Like, I'll keep trying. Like, I remember my first screen print job, it took me 9 days to print 100 hoodies on screen print because I couldn't line it up. It was just a plethora of problems that happened. But no experience, never even seen a squeegee before that first job.
Damn.
Wow.
Still got the money up out of it though, huh?
Yeah, for sure. And he's still, he's been a customer for a long time, so.
Yeah, that's good though. I don't know. Did I already read this t-shirt, man? Lowe said, I like that. If they ain't complaining, they ain't high enough. Period. Fidel said, pretty soon I'm going to change the pre-press step. Don't spend your money in the dark room. Washing chemicals is going to be gone for me, and it will for every screen printer.
Oh, he's talking about a direct-to-screen or a CCS screen or something. It's where they print the black stuff. It's like wax that they print or something. It's like a direct-to-screen printer. So instead of printing on the transparency, then putting the transparency on the screen, it's just going to print directly to the screen. And then you just expose it and wash it out. I think if that's what he's talking about, those are like $60K. I ain't got that.
$60K, good Lord, that's a house.
Shit, we just bought that. We just spent that for embroidery.
And a little patty.
So that's with that, the $60K, that's with that 8-head run, I would assume. But you done made a good chunk of that money back in a short time, if not all of it, from the way sound like you running your business.
I mean, this last week we probably embroidered about 1,000 garments in total.
Wow.
Hats, shirts, like that thing was not stopping all day. It's like I had an order for like 75 hats before on the single head. It took a few days because it was the front and the side. But with this new A head, like I could do the front and the side at the same time. So we had 70. It was like 75 hats. We ran them in like less than an hour. It was like 20 something. Like, it was almost disrespectful to run that little of hats on that machine.
Yeah.
Because it took way longer to clean the hats and pull off the back and then do all that than it took to run them. Before, it was taking longer to run them than it would to clean them. So as one's running, you're cleaning the next one, and it's totally different. That thing's a monster.
Fidel said no, it's different and a lot less than that. Fidel, put that in the comments, man. What you talking about, man? We need some free game. I got a 4-head little screen print set up in my garage, man, that my people's gifted me. He gifted me the whole screen print business. I ain't never I can't say never, but I can't screen print nothing to save my life. So all that, I got to learn all that, man. We got a question for you from T-Shirt Man Los. How long have you done embroidery, and did you have to learn it yourself?
Less than 2 years. So I think my first embroidery machine, I got it like the end of 2019. And right now it's 21. So less than 2 years, I think. I mean, I taught myself everything from digitizing to, even on the digitizing side, like understanding push and pull compensation. Like, I would read these long old articles, like, to try to understand embroidery. And so, I've taught everything that you see that's in my shop is all self-taught. Nobody's pulled up to.
So, like, what's my question? So what is the, like, outside of pride, we all, like you said, we all prideful, but what else motivates you to keep going, man, with the ups and downs and
My family.
Yeah, I heard that.
You know, it's simple. Like now, you know, I have like everybody that works for us is family. So, you know, I'm blessed that, you know, this because I was making good money on the oil rigs.
I
So
can imagine.
I'm blessed that, you know, I'm in the AC when it's hot outside. I'm in the warmth when it's cold outside. Usually I'd be in these negative 40 or dying blistering heat. So for me, you know, just being able to give opportunities to other family members and put them in a position that, you know, they could potentially learn enough to where they could go on and do their own thing is a blessing within itself.
Yeah, man, I feel it, man.
That's kind of what makes all the hard times, you know, because not every day is pretty in here. It may seem like it, but not every day is pretty. So when you have days like that, those are the joys when you could give them a raise or you give them bonuses. You know what I mean? You could put extra money in their pocket. That's, you know, I encourage everybody. Like I made them. I like my cousin that does all the Instagram stuff and the recording and all that stuff. I made him start a marketing company.
Mm-hmm.
Like my other cousin that, you know, works here and helps him with the screens and the printing and setting up. He basically does, you know, shout out to him. He does all the, you know, the shit work, pre-treating and screen. But you got to know that before you could know how to, you have to walk before you, or you have to crawl before you could walk. So even with them, man, I made him, you know, he's into the streetwear and Supreme and you need these J's and these new something's coming out. Like he's all into all that stuff. So with his clothing line, I made him, you know, go get an EIN number with his too. Put them in a position where they could learn from me and hopefully, you know, teach somebody else the game, because stuff that I figure everybody knows, a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, a lot of folks don't. I ain't on no massive scale like you. I do want to ask this: do you run your own brand? Do you have a brand yourself?
Nah. So, like, no offense to no clothing lines out there or anything like that, but you know, there's like, think of like the gold mine era, like the gold rush era. There were people digging for gold, and there was people that were selling shovels. So I'm just selling shovels. You know, I'm not really. I don't know. I guess I've learned enough from so many clothing lines and knowing what works and what sells, just because when they get more sales, that's what they want more of. So I've kind of learned a lot about the clothing line industry. But for me, like, I don't know. I'd rather just wear my company shirt. It's not something I'm gonna do in the near future, at least.
I like that metaphor, man. Some people sold shovels, some people sold mine for gold. I can dig it.
You know, it's just whatever suits you. You know, instead of being in the mine, like I'd rather just be on the outside selling shovels.
Period. I think I'd rather sell shovels too. A lot of things. Late night crafting with Stacey said, "What's up? What's happening?
How you doing?"
Fidel said we can't get that free game on what he talking about.
Come on.
He gonna put it on his YouTube channel. He said, "No, my show. I'm sorry. Just trying to save him work and money. He is more than welcome to contact me. I'll explain him all he needs to know." What about the rest of us? Fidel,
don't leave us in the dark.
Yeah,
and there's so much money. You know, it's so, you know, not saying that he's like that, because I don't know him, so I can't speak on it. But it's kind of funny, like how it's like this. You could set up 100 people with $1 million with a flourishing company, the exact same company, making the exact same money, same employees. Like if you clone that 100 times, you give 100 people the same opportunity, and 99 of them are gonna fail. No offense, but I could give my shop, my bank accounts, my money, just not my wife or my family. But you can take all this right now, and some people are gonna make it grow better than I can, and other people is just gonna drive it into the dirt. So that's why I don't mind giving out free game, because like it don't matter. Like there's drug addicts out here that find a way to get high every single day. No job, no employment, no way to get money done, burned every bridge in their life, society don't like them, their family don't like them, they find a way to get high. You can
And
tell me
still,
that you can let one of these people out hustle you?
yeah, and still be higher than a fire truck ladder every day.
They ain't gonna out hustle me. I'm thinking straight. You know what I mean? They ain't even thinking straight, and they're out hustling most people.
So I asked you this question before we came on. So seeing that you do have all that in the back, it's fair enough to say you are a full print shop. I mean, like you got everything that one would consider and be like, yeah. That's definitely a real print shop. But to the person that only has a cameo, a heat press, and a few rolls of vinyl, I know that person may think that he's a print shop, but do you consider them a print shop?
It's yours.
Okay.
You could consider whatever you want. You know, there's different levels. Like you can't really, like, if a big company walks in, like they could walk into my office, we could sit down, you know, offer some water, some tea, you know, whatever. You wine and dine them a little bit, try to get the order. I have walk-ins now, so just random people walk in. Like there's certain things you can't do at your house that you could do in a shop, and then there's certain things you could do in a shop that you can't really do at your house. Like this overhead, it looks pretty until you see the bills.
Yeah.
So, you know, the overhead is a lot of money. You know, there's no way around that. That's money down the drain, but you need that money to make other money. So as long as the walk-ins cover the bills, I'm cool. So if you got a cameo and you got a $200 heat press, man, call that your shop. That's your shop. That's where you make money. Your shop is what you make it. My shop was in a closet, then in a quarter of the living room, a third of the living room. Then I upgraded to its own room. Then I had the other shop, and then now this shop. So
yeah, I started with my heat press on the kitchen counter. Like my first YouTube videos, you'll see I was in the kitchen using green corn or frozen corn for a cold peel vinyl, man. Like real talk. Real talk. So, man, we keep talking about all the machines. Do you still use a heat press?
yeah, so there's one over there.
What size you got?
Look, there's a 16. Let me see if I can turn this desktop. Let me see.
60 watts.
Oh, it's back there behind the manual, but there's a heat press on wheels. You can see the wheels right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What sizes of the heat presses do you have?
So that one's like a 16 by 20. I have another 16 by 20, and then I got that hat press, that Fusion IQ hat press. I'm about to.
Oh, yeah, that's that Cadillac hat press back there.
That's I don't really know. I mean, it was probably stupid buy. I don't really have a
Really?
but it was a good price. Like I couldn't say no to the price.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, like in my head, with all the stuff I see back there, all the stuff you talking about you got going on, I was expecting to say you got like a 40 by 40 heat press or something up in there.
Nah, for what?
Yeah.
Most people, you know, even like when it was 16 by 20 prints, most companies, like, no offense, but, you know, there's only one FUBU for a reason.
Right.
There's only one Gucci. There's only one Louis. There's only one Off-White. There's only one Supreme. There's only one of these companies, you know what I mean? And so, like, no offense to nobody out there, keep grinding, keep hustling. Try to be that next person. But chances are, like, 16 by 20 prints, like, I know everybody gets excited about them. And unless it's like a 3X, 4X shirt, it don't look good on small shirts. Like, you print a 16 by 20 on a small shirt, that's probably like the whole area of the front.
Yeah.
Like, my money, my bread and butter, no offense to clothing lines, because they were my bread and butter for a while. But that's just not like sustainable. Like I think the only all over print company that I used to see was it was like 2010, 11. They used to wear like Affliction. They had all that like print all over. But those huge prints don't even, like, most clothing lines don't even want them.
Yeah.
So to have a bigger press than a 16 by 20, like, I'm not Silky Socks. I'm not pressing, you know, big sheets of stuff every day. So
yeah,
to me, I need to have a need for it. Like, if there's no need for it, I'm not just gonna buy it. Like this manual, there was really no need for the manual. Like, I've never used it. It's brand new. It's like a table. I think we printed some tags on it, like, but it doesn't get used Like it's more for like pretty or something. Like there's been times I had somebody on a manual and the auto, but most of my stuff gets ran on auto. It's just no comparison when it comes to quality from a manual to an auto. Because a manual screen printer, you're gonna get burned out at 300 shirts.
Yeah.
At 300 shirts, the white ink is barely just staying warm on the auto. Like it's just barely getting the cobwebs kicked off.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. We sometimes, man, sometime or another, man, we love to have you on and just show us, like the shop tour, man.
Yeah, hopefully I could hurry up, get it done, because like my dark room, I don't know if you can see, that's the dark room, but there's like windows, like there's windows throughout the whole dark room.
Uh-huh.
Same thing like with my office over here. It's gonna have glass, so I can buy on there.
How many heads is the auto?
So the auto is 4-color, 8 station.
Oh yeah, you getting real money off that joint, man.
It's a smaller one that they have, but anything over 4 colors, I'll just DTG it.
But you got 1,100 shirts an hour, man. You can't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's when it gets rolling, it's rolling. Like I think last week before we moved, we ran like 2,500 shirts, like no problem. It's easy.
Yeah. And you said with the DTG, you got 3 machines.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit more about the DTG we've been on?
Yeah, maybe somebody wants to buy them. Pull up. I'll sell them all. 35. Take them all home. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Hold on now.
Pull up. My friend, she back there. With the DTGs I have, they've been good to me. With any piece of equipment, like what I learned about this industry and what I learned about life is like people give reviews based off their experience, right? So DTGs have been up and down, up and down, up and down. I've had good times, I've had bad times.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the nature of this line of work. You're never going to win every single day. That's impossible. It's not going to happen. But with these DTGs, like the reason why I'm going to start moving either away from DTGs or upgrading to a different DTG is because like at some point, like when you're at your house and you have a full-time job and you have 500 shirts to press or to sublimate or transfers F&N, any of that stuff, like you could take your time with 500 shirts. Because for one, that's not how you eat. That's not how you pay your bills. It's a side hustle. Like, yeah, you're trying to grow it, but it's not like where it's at now, where like, it's my profession now. So you could take your time. Once you get like into these type of settings, time is money. Yeah. Like it has to be done at a certain time in order for me to make money, right? If it takes me 5 days to print 500 shirts, like if you break down the hourly rate, what you made compared to being able to print those 500 shirts in less than an hour, how much did you really make?
Right.
You know what I mean? At some point, you have to realize time is money. Like if it doesn't make sense from a time perspective with me, even if the money is good, like I just won't do it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. All right, that makes a lot of sense, man.
So with these DTGs, sometimes it takes 5 or 6 minutes for a print. So that means if it takes 6 minutes, that means every 2 minutes I get a print. So I can run 30 prints of those an hour, which is slow as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because every 2 minutes I'm going to offset my printers. So I'll start one, and then when it's about a third done, I'll start another. When it's almost done, I'll start the other. So while this one's getting put back and reset and getting ready to print, these other two are printing.
Uh-huh.
When the next one comes off, the next one, so that there's always 2 printers printing at any given time. Like, because if you just try to start them all at the same time, they're all going to crash. And what I mean by that is like 3 printers printing at the same time, then you're going to have to take one off and put it on and start that. Then this one's just sitting there. So you're going to lose all those seconds. Seconds turn into minutes, minutes turn into hours, hours turn into days.
Dang. So you was juggling with them. I seen you, man. I watched all the videos.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to a point where there ain't even no more. Like, I don't even have time for videos no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my family needs one day of me a week, you know. So on Sundays, I just try to just stay away as much as I can. I mean, stuff happens sometimes, and we got to be here, but that's just a part of the sacrifice.
Y'all, before we continue on with the show, we got to pay the bills real quick. And show y'all screen printers, aka custom apparel decorators or crafters. Are you on the market looking for blanks? Circle Clothing has you covered. From blank t-shirts to heavyweight t-shirts, tie-dye t-shirts, hoodies, and jogger pants. Now let me talk about this fleece. The fleece, that inner lining on the hoodies and the jogger pants is unmatched. Hands down, softer than feathers. If you are on the market and you need blanks to customize to make your brand stand out with the best premium quality possible, head on over to circleclothings.com today for all your crafting, all your ideal screen printing blanks needs. Period. That's it. You don't have to look no further. They got you covered. Check out Circle Clothings today. That's circleclothings.com.
Circleclothings.com, man. I got a box of it back here.
I hear the hoodies are good.
Yeah, that hoodies are dope, bro.
Better than AS?
I haven't used the AS color.
Yeah, see, we can't compare. That's not right.
Where's Stan at? Tell Stan I'm still waiting on my box.
He probably watching right now. Stan being here.
No, I ain't shipping his hats until I get the Circle Clothing box.
He probably watching. If he ain't watching, he'll catch up on the rerun.
For real.
For deals, go ahead, Mike.
All right, so I don't know nothing really about screen print. I know I've been doing what I do with the vinyl gang, and then the transfers, you know.
But I commend you. All that weed, I commend you. I can't do it though.
He loves it.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? I get in the mood, I turn on some music, and we go to work. What out of all of these methods that you do have and that's readily accessible to you, what is your favorite one?
Vinyl's last.
I know vinyl.
I can't.
I can tell from everything behind you, vinyl last.
Vinyl's last for sure. Like the only reason why I keep that vinyl cutter is because that's where it started.
Yeah.
Like one day I'm gonna frame it and put it on the wall. Like, it's brand new, still has the tape on it. Like, but I cannot figure out how to work that Graph Tech program to save my life. Like, it took me like 6 hours to print a unicorn shirt, and it was just simple. Like, I couldn't even figure it out. It was horrible. But so vinyl's last for sure. It depends on the job. With the I like the embroidery machine right now because it's fast as hell. Like, embroidery is highway robbery. It's legal robbery. I don't know why. Print shop, I don't even know why I charge so much to embroider stuff when it's so cheap. Like a spool of thread, sorry, but it is what it is. I love embroidery because it's highway robbery, but you know, it has its drawbacks. You can't be as detailed as you can with, you know, DTG or screen print. But my favorite, if I had to pick one, man, maybe DTG because I know it the best.
DTG.
So what's your money maker though? Which one you get the money?
It's weird because it comes in. I'm trying to figure that out, how to like get everything so consistent. Because like 1 week it'll be nothing but screen print stuff. Another week it'll be just piles of stuff for DTG, and another week it'll be nothing but embroidery. So it's trying to balance them all so that everything's running full 10, 12-hour days.
So with you running everything around the shop, you also do your own books and all that, or do you have an accountant, or how that work?
Yeah, so pretty much I do, like, my wife cuts all the checks, so she handles a lot of that stuff on the back end. My mom's a CPA, so she takes care of all my taxes and stuff. So that's the one help that I have, you know, has benefited from.
See, that's one thing, like, bro, everybody, your cousin, your mom, your wife, like, Man, it's a family affair, man. That's what's happening.
My daughter comes in and fires everybody twice a week. It don't matter what they're doing. She just comes, regulates, and fires everybody.
I heard that
She
everybody.
fired my cousin over there on the electrical.
Call flipping.
Funny.
Yeah, she'll tell you too, like, hey, it's business is business. It's never personal. Like, she'll even top it off with a cherry for you.
That's hella funny, man.
Don't forget your check.
Yeah. That's hella funny, man. But like that's dope, man. Like I don't know if y'all been listening out there, man. Man, he did all this and gained all that in 2 years. Like so it's out there for us, man. It's just the mind state and just talking to him, you hear his mind. The way he thinks is like chess. You play chess.
Oh, you know what? You're the first person that's ever described how I think the way I describe it. Because the way I think is exactly how I play chess.
Yeah.
Like 3-4 moves ahead. I don't push a pawn just to push. I don't move a bishop to move it. Like there's a purpose for every move. And all my moves, I try to make sure that they're all calculated moves.
Yeah, you definitely.
Like there have been a few regrets that I made along the way, but I've had more wins. You know what I mean? Like I'm always, even when these guys come in, look, chessboard right here.
Yeah.
You know, they want to come in and gamble on some chess. We be gambling in here too.
I got mine as chess. What piece are you on that chessboard? You said.
I could play without my queen and play pretty well. So it doesn't.
Yeah,
I like it. I like the horse out of everything.
Yeah, I
don't care. You could take the queen. As long as I have these horses, I'm gonna do damage. Because they could hop in, do what they need, like sticking and moving. Stick and move, get in, do what you gotta do and get out.
Yeah, you really can. Like you can box people in with them horses in the whole line.
Yeah.
What up, South Bay? Appreciate you coming.
South Bay Creations, what's going on? This DTL print was by my guy South Bay Creations. Shout out, thank you, Jason. Appreciate you.
A fire design. Show us
again.
What it say on there.
God made me, so God got me.
Huh.
And then, like, you know, my wife is creative, so all the little confetti looking stuff, she just cut up some scrap off of it and made it a shirt, man. You know, so. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Guys, the shirts is nice. You know, see, I be just wearing work shirts every day.
And I made it, you know, me too, hell. This is just for the show. It's coming off as soon as I get up out of here. Go in here and eat me a hamburger or something. This shirt is gone.
You meant to say chicken thigh. I ain't gonna let that ever go.
Nobody eat no damn chicken thighs, man. You keep coming at me with that bullshit. Excuse my language. He always be like, you eat chicken thighs, Sean?
Chicken thigh? What part of? I guess I love chicken. I eat some chicken.
See, he don't even know what part of the chicken is the thigh.
No. S.E, don't do me like that. Come on, man.
Don't nobody eat no chicken thighs, man. We go through this debate every week, bro.
Chicken thigh has to be on the drumstick, right? Because there's the foot at the bottom, so that the drumstick would be the calf. So above the drumstick is the thigh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, look, don't nobody eat that shit, man. He called me and gonna tell me I was eating a chicken wing. So I saw you eat that thigh, man. If you don't quit lying on me. Nah, man. So back to this, man. Like, get serious, man. Like, so what's your biggest headache running that shop?
Nobody cares about your shit the way you do.
You said that again. That's why, man.
You know, it's every time I turn around, this is broke. I mean, I came in Friday, like, you know, in the nighttime, I'm like, all right, tomorrow I got to do this, and this. Morning time comes when I'm in the shower, same thing. I got to do this, and this. Never goes like that, ever. I don't even know why I think like that no more because it doesn't ever happen. I come in Friday, compressor hoses exploded. The compressor stayed on all night, so the shop was like 90-something degrees.
Damn.
Wow.
It was hot as hell from running all night. Like the compressor itself was hot. Like every day it's something.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have all these problems when I was by myself. You know what I mean? But then again, I didn't use the equipment like how I use it now. So
Yeah. Man, I ain't trying to get in your pocket or nothing, but what's the biggest dollar amount you made off of, or I mean, you don't got to be exact, but like approximately, what's the biggest profit you've made in there?
probably like 30
That's what I'm talking about.
on WAP.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's only gonna go up from here.
So with them, like, so you said that how new are the embroidery machines?
So that A head, it hasn't even been here a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, it was overdue for an upgrade, but yeah, it hasn't even. I think Tuesday or Wednesday would be a week, but that thing's been running since we got it. So I was running it before they even pulled up for training. Like, man, we're about to take these brackets off. We got way too much shit to be worrying about this training. Look, that we'll figure it out. Like, I called a couple people. Hey, how do I make this? How do I go back? Like, I didn't even know how to use the interface or nothing. I figured it out though. Like, one of these buttons has to go back because like one of the strings broke or thread breaks or something happened. And I mean, it's just figuring it out, you know?
Off to the races, man. That's crazy. Like, I thought, because I seen on your IG, I thought you had it for a minute.
Nah, that's Israel. Israel, you know, he does his thing on IG. I just answer the messages and take care of that back end stuff. But he's the creator behind all that. Yeah. He's the one the reason why it is where it is right now. I mean, you can see when I was just posting a picture and writing something. Now he's doing like reels and lives, and there's times I'm like, he's like, oh, I was live. I'm like, bro, you can at least say something. Like, I don't even know when you're going live or not. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I seen on your live where you was trying to move it off of the flatbed and then it just like cut off. I know you was like scooting up. Was it rolling wheels on that?
Yeah. So in order for us to get it out the trailer, I had to rent it, like pay a tow truck driver to back up to the trailer and then roll the embroidery machine onto the trailer, hook it up to the winch, and then lower it into the shop. Because that shit is heavy. Like that with them wheels don't even do nothing. To be honest, it took us all to move that embroidery machine. But then I had to go, like, the slant that it was at, the front of it was hitting. So I had to have him pull it back, and then just learning stuff that I learned from the oil rigs, like just doing whatever you got to do to get the job done. Like, there's times you just got to do what you got to do. So I just pumped it up with the pallet jack, quick thinking, just to get it a little higher, came down, and then ran to the back and pumped that side up. Got it in the shop, and we're like, oh, this shit's backwards. It's supposed to be turned the other way. You know, when you turn in like 18 feet, you know, this embroidery machine's 18 feet. So when you're turning 18 feet in a 16-foot area, it's a little hard.
Yeah.
So even then, I was like, damn, like, we should have paid attention. Like, I didn't even think of that.
So we got this question on the screen for you. I don't know if you mentioned it or this or not, but when did you know it was time to move from the house to a shop?
My wife kicked me out. At the time, like, you know, rest in peace, my father-in-law. My father-in-law moved in with us. He was kind of ill, so I basically got, you know, I wanted to give him that room because it wasn't up the stairs, so he didn't have to walk. So he came and lived with us, took over that room, and it was basically like, my wife was like, my dad's coming here, so go find a shop, basically. So some stuff that, you know, wasn't planned out, some stuff, like even with screen printing and stuff, it was my hand was forced into making those moves. But I didn't just make them foolishly. Like, that's another thing that people don't realize. Like, I always make moves at a time that I think it's not convenient for me, but at its like when I absolutely necessarily have to make that move. Like, I'll plot on something a long time before I ever make the move. Like that embroidery machine, the new one was like months in the making. But I just kept pushing embroidery, pushing until that single head was just like stressing me out with all the orders that it was behind. Now, like, I'm not even like, whatever, you know, like it's, you know, a couple hundred behind. I'll do it in the morning. I ain't tripping. Let's go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's dope though, man. But like even in the midst of, like you said, rest in peace to your father-in-law, but him coming there, like your wife didn't say give up on your dream. She said go get you a shop and keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the hash.
Like even when the pandemic hit, you know, I would, this was still just in my basement on this computer that I'm using now. I'm surprised it works still. But like I was just, all of us got laid off from the oil rigs. Like COVID hit, you know, barrels of oil was minus money, minus, it was like negative or something like that. And, you know, oil rigs, they're paying $1 million a day to run. So
yeah,
when you're drilling for oil that ain't worth nothing, they just shut us all down. So I was at home and I was like, I even told my wife one night, I was like, I'm just going to start treating this like it's a job. Like I'm going to go down in the morning and I'll come back up in the evening. I'll come up for lunch and stuff like that. But I'm going to start trying to take this serious now that I got the time. And if it don't work, then cool. I'll just go back to the oil rigs. If it works, then it works, you know?
right.
But, and it just, fortunately it worked. You know, everybody got their stimulus checks and started just, then they were just trying to find anything to invest into.
Yep.
So I want to ask, you said you were eating off of the clothing brands and stuff. Like, what's a typical run for a clothing brand for you?
It depends on that clothing brand. You know, there's some clothing brands that I've worked with that they started with just a sample, and excuse me, they went up from a sample to hundreds of shirts. But then I've seen clothing lines that, you know, could have done good. They could have done well, and they didn't push it the way it was supposed to they were supposed to push it. And, you know, it failed, or maybe they just moved on to another printer. I don't know. I can only assume.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean, do you do a lot of I know the answer to this. Somebody might not know. Instagram ads or marketing?
Oh yeah, I've never, like I've tried it, and we spent some good money doing it. But to be honest, like we've built this off word of mouth, so it's got me this far. And then I tried those ads, and like I just felt like it was milking me. You know what I mean? Like I think those ads have to be super, super, super targeted. Like it can't be general ads. Like we offer embroidery, we offer DTG, we offer screen print. Like it has to be specific. Like 20 hats for $50 embroidered, or 10 shirts for $10 DTG. Not that those are prices, but you know, just hypothetically speaking, like it has to be super targeted. Then you have to go into the backside and start playing with the analytics and what age group. Like to me and where I'm at right now, it doesn't make sense. If it was a clothing brand, I say of course, but that's just one of the things I just could never dial in.
Mike, you want to hit that rapid fire?
Yes, sir. So, Sean, S.E, we do rapid fire where I ask you 5 questions you can answer to the best of your capabilities. Hit this banner. Hot or cold?
Cold.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
I've already asked you what print method you would go with if you had to choose, and you said it depends on the job. So the job is 30 shirts. You got a week to get them done. Which method you going with?
DTG, single color embroidery, or single color screen print. If it's multiple colors, the 1 week, that's no problem. We'll have them tonight.
Wow.
That's a good timeline for us. 1 week.
1 week. Give us some inspiration or motivation on, you know, being in this game. Like you did it in 2 years, so it's unfathomable for even for me. I've been doing it for 3 years, and I don't even feel like I'm a fraction of where you're at. Even though I'm in the store, I just feel like, man, I'm still in that little back corner of where you're at.
But you know, not only to you, but to other people. Like if you limit yourself, then that's all you're gonna do.
Okay.
Like remember Fridays, like I got mind control on Depot, something like that. It's just mind control over it. Like if you manifest it, it's gonna come true. But that's why I tell people, be careful what you wish for, because you know you're gonna pray for these 1,000-piece orders till you get the 1,000-piece order that's due tomorrow.
Right.
Sheesh.
and you're short 3 guys and your press is down. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that happens, like a bird wrecked into the transformer in the middle of a job. Like I've had that happen where like a car wrecked into the transformer. And
Damn.
dude was just all like, hi, shut us down for like 3 days, couple days.
Damn.
But you know, like don't limit yourself. If you limit to yourself, then that's all you're gonna be able to do. If you say I can't jump that high, then you ain't ever gonna be able to jump that high.
Mm-hmm.
So quit limiting yourself. Like I'm gonna end up. I'm sorry to this CrossFit that's next door, but they gotta go because I'm gonna knock down this wall. I'm gonna expand that way. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I'm buying up this whole thing. So
Heard that.
like don't let people. You like 10 people are gonna always tell you that you're gonna fail. Like I remember when I first started this. Even then, I was like shirts. Like, the f am I doing printing shirts? Like this ain't gonna. I even had people tell me, bro, that shit ain't gonna work. Like, go back to the oil rigs. But now, you know, it's a little bit different because now it's kind of where it's at. But you know, from the outside looking in, this shop is super successful. You know what I mean? And it has had success, but at the same time, I'm just reinvesting all the money that I've ever made. Just keep pumping money into it to grow it to where it's at. So instead of making, you know, that first 5,000 or 3,000 that I made, could have went and bought a car, could have went and took my family on vacation, but short-term sacrifices for long-term satisfaction. It's just like chess. Sometimes in chess, you got to sacrifice a piece to get that queen off the board. And once their queen, if their queen's strong, like they play strong with their queen, I'll give them 2 or 3 pieces. I ain't tripping. Because once that queen is done, what you gonna do? You don't know how to move any other pieces.
Period.
Can't operate.
You know what I mean? So
question. 5th and final, man. What's something that you would have told yourself about 2 to 3 years ago that you know now?
Careful what you wish for.
I appreciate you answering those rapid fire questions. Yo, you dropped a lot of gems on us tonight, man. It's we gonna have to do this again. I need another one. And this time
Set it up.
Typed out.
Next time I'll have the whole shop ready. And you know, it'll be set up.
See?
Yeah, that'll be dope, man. I love to see what you got going on in there.
It's definitely gonna be one of the nicest screen print shops for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That auto, what is the brand of that auto back there?
Rock. The manual's Riley Hopkins.
Okay.
So,
man, what's the estimated worth for what you got in that shop? You got some real money up in there.
Right now it's probably like 300.
Hell yeah. In
Easy.
2 years though.
150.
Yeah.
No, it's over 300. It's over 300. There's a couple dryers. There's dryers right there. One's on the table.
Yeah.
The belt for it's underneath the other dryer. I could go to on that other side of the dryer on the back wall is all the 8-head. My office is going up. That's dark room. I know it don't seem like it. That's cut in the wall. It's dark room. All that stuff's going up. All the stuff.
I'm sorry for asking about numbers and stuff, man. I usually
ask away.
But like to see what you've done in 2 years, man, I'm just trying to drive the point to myself, to the people that are watching, the people that's gonna see this. Like 2 years, he did all this, man, from nothing. You know what I mean? From
1,200
from the kitchen. So that's dope, man.
Right on. It's just grind. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you can't focus. Like for a while there, if one shirt messed up, I was pissed about it because I strive for perfection. But at some point, like just so I don't stress, what I do is just like fuck it. It's just money. You know, sorry for cussing, but it's just money. Like it's gonna come. It's gonna go. Like you're gonna take losses.
Period.
For sure, you're guaranteed to take losses. I don't care how good you think you are. There's certain things that just happen that are out of your control. Like you have one sweater left and this count has to be exact. They're out of stock and this one sweater messes up, just the press just stopped working or in the middle of a flood. And then next time you try to screen printed, like leaves like this line in the middle, and like, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The losses, they accumulate, but if you could find a way to cut down on the losses, like that's where you're gonna really win at. And this is just like from where I'm at now, but like a couple years ago when I was in my house, like just grind, just hustle, focus on customer service. I think that's like my number one like thing, because just like on the sales side, if you could relate to the person, you could sell them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, if there's, you know, certain businessmen talk a certain way, so if you can speak their language,
Yep.
then you got that customer. There's other people that, you know, they come a little bit from the hood,
Rough around the edges.
you know, if you could relate to them, you got the sale too. You know what I mean? It's being able to kind of not switch up your personality and change who you are, but being able to relate to those customers is pretty much how you're going to get that sale. But if you focus on customer service and quality, there isn't no reason why you shouldn't win.
Right.
Whether it takes 2 years or 5 years, you know, some people, you know, I was fortunate enough where I was making good enough money on the oil rigs that I didn't have to touch this money. This money I just kept flipping it and kept reinvesting it and living off my oil rig money. I never touched this. But that's the beauty of a side hustle, because how you're living is how you should stay living. So when that side hustle money comes in, if you're blowing it on, you know, chains and, you know, champagne and trying to be in the club and trying to be on some rims and new cars, like that's as far as you're going to get. You know, the goal is to be rich, not look rich.
Period.
Like, and I've bought some stupid stuff in these last couple of years. Not really stupid, but because I could always get my money back. But I've spent some money too. But at the same time, like, you gotta just outgrind it, outgrind everybody. It doesn't matter to me. In my mind, like, I don't care if you grew up with both parents in your house, you freaking had a scholarship to Princeton, you had, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you've had that I didn't have or I didn't experience. Like, I have a relentless grind, and you're never gonna outgrind me. So.
Right. Wow. Good. Man, I'm sorry, man. I gotta end this. It's time for me to take my medication, bro. I just had my leg amputated like 2 weeks ago. So sitting here in this wheelchair all this time, man, I'm in pain right now. So I gotta go.
Blessing, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Definitely would love. Yeah, we love to have you back, man, and get that shop tour, man. I love to see what you working with back there, and just, you know, maybe some of the day-to-day operations or something. It's
more than welcome. Stop by too anytime. Doors are always open. So,
man,
whenever you guys are out this way, don't be afraid to come by. Tickets are only $67. So you guys probably got that saved up in points on your Amex.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice, man. I don't smoke no weed. I live in a legal state too, but they say that Colorado weed is the ish. I don't smoke it, but hey.
Oh no, I like my money a little too much to just smoke it away.
Yeah, I don't smoke either, man. I don't smoke or drink, but just the stuff I hear about that Colorado.
We'll get a good steak though, for sure.
Yeah, I live in Oregon, so I know, you know, I know how it work out like that.
Hey, we appreciate everybody that came through tonight. T. Johnson, thank you. Yes. Sean came through and dropped some gems on us.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you, man. I'm gonna be reposting. So I'm gonna tag you, tag your shop and stuff on here, man.
Right on, I appreciate it.
Before we leave, where can they find you at?
On IG, it's SE_ shirts and hoodies. On YouTube, it's SE shirts and hoodies. Just type in SE shirts and hoodies in Google, and just everything will pop up.
Right on. Again, man, thank you for coming out. I'm sorry I had to cut it short. I'm just in pain right now. Thank you. Thank everybody for coming out. What's going on, Third Day Tees? Connie, or y'all have a good night. Today is Saturday, so Tuesday, who we got?
Tuesday, we have, Yoda V.
Oh, yeah, we got Yoda back. Sketches to Design says, great show. Thank you for sharing your experiences and knowledge.
Thank you for having me.
Right on. So we will see y'all Tuesday with Yoda V will be back in here with us. Y'all have a good night.
All right, be safe.
Yep, too.
Thank you.